I'm going to continue working on this painting. The last time I went live, I added most of what was needed, so it was almost at the complete stage. Now I'm going to add the final highlights. This is it. This is where everything gets completed. The final highlights is the last step to a painting. And basically that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to add the final highlights to it, and for that I am using the plein air that I painted of this in one of my sketch pads, and the photo that I took that day also for detail. Basically that's all I'm going to use that for, because the colors will be totally off. It would be useless to use that for colors. Photographs change colors drastically, especially shadows. I mean, shadows, oh, it is unbelievable how they get changed, basically. So, all right, so I'm going to work on the saguaro first, and I have my canvas flat on the table because when I paint something that requires detail, sometimes I put the canvas flat. The reason for that is that it's easier to have a steadier hand to add detail to something. I learned that from Robert Bateman, the Canadian wildlife artist. I saw him doing that in a photograph in one of his books that I got. He was working on an eagle, and he was outside in this beautiful balcony that had this view that was breathtaking. And he was doing that, basically. He was working on the eagle, but he was working flat. I got to meet him a few years later, and of course I had to ask the question. And he told me basically it's a little bit easier to add detail because it holds your hand a little bit steady for that. So I thought that was fantastic, and since then I've been trying to paint flat, when I can, because of that reason alone. And I'm mixing the color for the highlight by using some of the colors that I used in the background also on the rest of the painting. And this here I noticed that I put it almost flat when it's supposed to be round, so I'm going to fix it right now. It's got like a little round top. It is not flat like I put it before, so I'm fixing this. There we go. Now unfortunately I'm gonna have to bring some of those greens in because now it looks totally wrong. All right, just by putting that color there, I realized that it's not light enough. I have to lighten it a little bit because, like I said, these are the final highlights. So it's going to be hard now to add that highlight there because now it's wet. That's why I always wait until the canvas is a little bit dry for me to go in. And now the highlight is not like a straight line. The way it's hitting the canvas, it's hitting it in little sections, where the thing elevates. The things that are sticking out and they're a little bit elevated out off the cactus or the saguaro is what actually gets affected by the light. It's not a straight line of light. It's only where the raised portions, which are technically where the saguaro thorns are sticking out, that get affected by the light that I'm putting right now. So if I just put a straight line, that is not going to work. I have to be careful on how I place them. And like I said, they're thorns, so I'm trying to just work on that little area. And here they follow where this is going into the cactus there, and it gets affected a little bit on the top. It's almost nothing. Just like I said, those elevations where the light hits it. Same thing as it goes in here, but it grays out. It's not as bright as what I'm putting right now. So I'm going to gray it out a little bit with the same color that I used in the mountain to bring it into this section here. And it goes in here, and like I said, it only gets affected where the areas are elevated, that the light is bouncing off of them. And that's the area that gets affected by the light. And there's other areas that come in here, but they're more grayed out. I'm gonna have to grade it out even more because they're not that bright. And like I said, I'm using the mountain color for that to gray the color out because they're not as bright as the rest. But it's got a few, very few. If you exaggerate it and you go overboard with it, it affects what you're doing. That is perfect there. I mean, the cactus is, or the saguaro is perfect. The only issue is that I did have to,
What, boo-boo?
I did have to correct the top part that as I mentioned, it was a little bit rounder. It wasn't flat like I had it. So now I have to bring some of those greens in, which I would have to remix. But they're simple to mix because I have the other colors. I never scraped the palette, so I have the other colors as samples. I'm gonna mix right next to them to try to get the exact color that should be there. I made a 48-hour cold brew. It's been brewing in the fridge for about 48 hours, and today I filtered it. That coffee's so darn good. It came out looking like Texas oil. I mean, it is so dark and so intense. It is beautiful. That's what I'm drinking right now. This would be my second or third cup. I had, yesterday I went to Starbucks and I still had the cup that I used there. So I washed it in the sink and I figured I would do as my buddy put it, those are not my words, by the way, they're my buddy's words. I did a poor man's version of coffee, which is what he calls when you reuse the cup. I think it's hilarious. He's a funny person. But I don't believe in being a poor man's thing. It's just, hey, you don't want to use it, you can reuse them. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, so I'm like I said, I'm remixing that green that I had in the cactus, and that green is a little bit grayed out, and it's grayed out also with the same color that I told you guys that I had used for the mountain itself. So now I'm coming in here and I'm adding a little bit of that green here because the light in that top part does not go that high. Perfect. You see how that looks? That's pure perfection right there. LOL. I really don't believe in perfection, but yeah, that looks good. So that is nice there. Now I'm bringing that color that I put up there, just this bottom part here and some of these bushes here, because that would be a perfect color to bring in here now. And I am not bringing it in that strong. I'm making sure that it is not that strong when I bring it in. So here there's like little bushes that go up here. That's another thing I noticed when I was waiting for it to dry. I did notice that what do you call it? That this part here looked almost like a straight line. You know, that's supposed to be ground, but man, it went all across. That is not good. I mean, it did not work very well with. So I'm breaking it here now, which is what I was thinking of doing there, because there is a bush that goes in here. So that works pretty well in this direction here. Now we don't have a straight line going across, which threw my eye out of the canvas technically. And that broke down, you know, the nice flow that the canvas had to begin with. That just destroyed everything. So you got to be careful when you do those things. Also, when you're putting things down, sometimes you miss stuff. And there are times when your rest of the composition will get affected by what you did there. And that is when you have to go in and fix it, because you can't have the entire composition of your painting being thrown off by one mistake that was made on the rest of the canvas. See, I like what's happening there. Now I have that little break there. Now it's not just a straight line, even though it's still, I'm gonna break a little bit here in this area right here, but it's, you gotta be conscious of how the composition is coming along while you're painting. Sometimes, even though with oil, I don't care what you do, it can be fixed. But it's better when you catch it early and you fix the issue rather than waiting, further down into the painting, especially when you think you're done and then you got to go back and work on things. Sometimes it's a little bit frustrating. And it can be very easily avoided, as I said, just by paying attention to what you're doing early on. And that the best way to do that is to move back and look at the painting from a distance. I'm adding a little bit of the leaves of this tree that are here. And that's gonna break my composition right here too. And I'm being conscious of where I put them, because technically I'm not looking at leaves, I'm looking at textures. Never look at leaves, that is not good. Never look at what you think you're looking at. I talked about that in a previous video. Always look at the texture that's there. If you follow the texture to the truest form, you are going to end up with what is there, the actual shape of what is there. Whether it's a leaf, a branch, I don't care what it is. If you follow that early, you will end up with a shape that you actually want. And that's exactly what you're looking for. So, and here, the reason for me doing this is not only to add that bush that I had left out for some reason, I'm also breaking the space again. You see, now it's not one straight line across the way it was before. Before it looked like just a straight line. I mean, that, oh man, you don't know how much it bugged me. I was going insane looking at that thing, but when I work, it's impossible for me to paint, so I couldn't go in and fix it, otherwise I would have. Today I'm off, that's why I'm painting with you guys. So, all right, so that's good there. I like what's happening there. I don't know if you guys noticed the big change right there. Just by breaking this space here that threw your eye out of the canvas, the composition is stronger now. It's more solid. It stays within its boundaries now. And your eye still has the beautiful flow. If you notice, some of the stuff that I put here has a rhythm, and the rhythm is bringing the eyes back into this bush. The bush is going to bring the eye back into the area. So far so good. And like I said, I was gonna bring only highlights, but I had to fix that. So now I had another task at hand that I had to work on. But if it has to be done, it has to be done. I mean, you can't go around ignoring things that are going to benefit the canvas. If you see them fixing, that's just my theory. And it's so easy to do that, like I said, especially with oils. This back part here is still way too close to in values. And not only that, but I'm going to add a little bit more of highlights to that area too, but they're gonna be more in the blue family. I don't want them to be too intense and too bright greens. When you have too many bright greens in the background, you lose your depth of field. Everything is going to be competing for the same level of or distance. And a painting with no depth of field, especially when it's a nice little scene like this, is a bad, it's going to be a bad painting. It's not going to convey what you could be able to convey. So It's better, not only that, but I'm going with cool yellows. I'm using lemon yellow because I want that to be cool in the background. Again, I'm bringing the color from the mountain and some of the other stuff. Why? Because that brings color harmony. I want color harmony in this. That is very important. You have to have color harmony, otherwise everything gets lost. So now I'm going to, like I said, add the highlights here, but if you notice, they're not as strong, and I can still make them a little bit bluer because I want the distance to be conveyed into it. And be careful if you use good paints and you're paying good money for the paints, they're gonna have a high amount of pigment, and that's what my issue with this blue that I'm using right now. I have to be careful in how much I bring into the mix, because that blue is going to just take over my color because of the intensity of the or the amount of pigment that it has. The amount of pigment is going to make that high intensity, and it's going to modify my color more than I want it modified. You see, I like what's happening there. Now those are now further back. They're not fighting for attention in the front. And that's exactly what I want, what I was looking for. I don't want them fighting for attention. Now, these ones are still too intense, but I need to bring a little bit more of the blue again and blue them out a little bit. But like I said, be careful how much blue you add, because it will modify your entire color, for the reason that in this one, you see, I'm adding a little bit more of the blue here because I do not want for that to be competing with the front. Those trees are a little bit bluer. It doesn't mean that they can have a little bit of yellow, but use a cooler yellow. I'm using lemon yellow on this because we still had highlights in the back. They were not completely out. When you have too much paint, guys, use your napkin. I brought in the brush a little bit too loaded. I'm taking some of the paint off because other than that, like I said, this is the background. I can't have it that intense. All right, that's beautiful. I'm liking what's happening there. I'm very satisfied with that. Now I need to fix this area over here too. I was having a conversation with one of the other artists online sometime back, and he was telling me that basically he has some paintings that he did a long time ago, and he took them out because he put them away. He said it's too many paintings to have out, and it's not easy to sell paintings nowadays. So he and it's not, has nothing to do with not advertising yourself well. I'm in advertising, and believe me, I can sell almost anything. And right now, the job that I have is outside of advertising. I wanted to see if I could do something different. And what I'm doing right now, I can sell almost anything to anybody, and that's why I'm doing so good in what I'm doing. But the thing about it is, when it comes to paintings, that's a whole different animal. I don't care who tells you what. That is not an easy task. Everything is totally different when you're talking about paintings. And the reason for it, you can sell something that has a need, that people have a need for. Let's just throw something crazy out there, a refrigerator. People need a refrigerator. There's no way in hell people cannot have their food cold. That's an easy thing to sell to somebody when they need it, and they come, to, let's say you work at a store and they come to the store and they need a refrigerator. Oh, that's not so easy to sell them that. I mean, I can tell you right now, that wouldn't be an issue. If you present that refrigerator and you let them make them need it more than what they needed, even though they do need it. But if you sell it to them even a little bit, give that refrigerator more of a need than what they came here needing it, they're gonna buy it. Especially if you point out how awesome the item is, and you can even make it sound even more awesome than what it is. Those people are going to walk out of there with a refrigerator. But when it comes to paintings, they don't need paintings. That's something they have to love. That's something they're going to want. And that makes it a little bit harder to sell for that reason. Because you're selling them something that they can't do without. I mean, that artist would have to, or that collector would have to love your painting, and for them to actually want to buy it without any effort on your part. And I've had that happen. People have loved my work. They ask me if I can give them a discount, so because they can't afford the full price. And some, I tell them they can buy in commission. Not a commission. They can buy in payment with a payment plan. Others can't even afford to do that. I understand. Not because they're giving you a payment plan means that they have a certain amount that they saved up or that they were going to use for something else, but they love your work and they actually want that painting. And when that happens, I'll give them the discount. I'd rather sell it to somebody who actually loves it and somebody that has money and bought it and they didn't care about it as much, but they just had the money to buy it. I'd rather the person that actually loves it and is buying it because they actually love it, and to them it was a struggle just to buy it to begin with because they have bills, they have a family. I've had people like that. I don't care. Like I said, if they love my work that much, they have a discount for me. And some, buy in on a payment plan. I've had several people do that, and it's awesome. It really depends on how the person needs things. Alrighty, so all right, so I'm bringing a little bit of the leaves and sticks and everything that's here to break down that shadow. And again, I'm using some of the colors that I used in the rest of the painting to bring the harmony into the painting still. I'm not just mixing colors out of the blue. No, all these colors have a little bit of the other colors in them to do that. And I'm moving back right now. Well, not back, I'm standing up so I can see. Oh, that was my cat knocking things down. My apologies for that. He probably sounded loud as hell, but that's my little Isabel. He's getting scared with everything. And I moved something and she took off like a bat out of hell. LOL. I don't know any of you guys have cats, but I have two, and one of them is a scary cat. One likes my baby better, the other one likes me better, so, but both of us, we coexist with him. Alrighty, so this area, as I mentioned, whoever saw the previous video when I went live on Instagram, this area in the actual photo and in the actual scene that I saw there is nothing but gravel, rocks, loose rocks on the ground. So basically, I can go in and I could go in and make them look exactly like the rocks held detail and everything. But the problem with doing that is that the rest of the painting is not what you call that loose, but it's not that detailed either. And I don't want to have to go in and detail everything because now it looks bad.
Yes, on the floor.
All right, so I'm continuing with this here. Now again, I'm putting highlights. As you can see, everything I'm putting are the final highlights. This is what completes the painting here. We have some shrubbery here that went into the cactus here. And I'm adding only the highlights. I'm not putting this everywhere. I'm just putting wherever the light was hitting those little areas that were raised, that were elevated a little bit higher than the rest, and the light hit it and created that highlight. There's some down here, as I can see in the photo. Trying to see if my plein air shows that too, but it doesn't. So I must have missed it while I was there. The photograph picked up something that I did not put down. Like I said, the photo is, I'm not using it as a color reference. That would be totally wrong because the colors are all off. And I know they're off because I have the plein air in front of me. And the plein air was more accurate on those colors than the other one was. All right, so that is looking good, at least I believe so. See, now I got highlights there, highlights there. This was had very little to do with anything to do with that, anything to do with that. So I'm going to bring now the highlights in this, which were a little bit greener. They were not as, those were like dry areas there. This had a little bit more of green, and I'm going to go ahead and bring them in here. And so far, so good. All right, so this is looking good here. I'm very happy with this. I'm introducing a little bit more of, like as I said, this is more of a light green. I don't know if in the screen is showing it or not, but it's not, as that one is more of a beigey white. This one has more of a green to it. And all this area here was all lit up. So that's what I am doing. This is actually a bush that was there, like a shrub. All right, so that's good there. I'm not, I think I might even have gone overboard, which is not good. So I'm going to continue here. Now here, it's got some of that green in there too, so I'm bringing it down over here. I need to bring that green elsewhere. I can't just put that light green there and have it only in one area. That's not how it works. You have to bring it over. So where the other highlights are in here, I'm going to take advantage of that green to bring it in. And this is another shrubbery there. Now here, I told you it hardly has anything. Well, I'm gonna bring this color into the canvas just to give it a little bit of, all right, that's nice. You see, now you have a nice balance across. And let me see. Well, I'm looking at the canvas, guys. That's why you don't hear anything. I'm now studying what I've done so far. That's why it's a little bit quiet. I'm technically looking at what got done here. All right, that's nice there, but sometimes in the process of doing something, you can end up messing up something else. So you gotta be careful too. Okay, that's nice there, okay. Here it's got a little bit of darkness that goes in there, a little bit of darks. Not darkness, but darks that come in here. The canvas moved now. I gotta make sure. All right, that's good. I don't want the canvas going out of the screen and you guys get to see nothing. All right, so far so good. I think we're almost done with this. Now, I'm bringing one of the other brushes in here. All right, I'm bringing, now I'm going back to some of the lighter brushes, and I'm going to bring one of the colors that I had here, and I'm gonna blue it a little bit more because it's gotta be, for what I'm about to do right now, it's gotta be bluer. But I'm going to bring a little bit of the highlights in the mountain, which the last time I had to retouch this, so I lost a little bit of that, and I didn't want to go in when it was wet. But it's got a little bit of highlights in here that give the mountain the form that I need it to have. All right, so far so good, and this goes up in here, and it's got a break right there. This here, let's see, how does this go? It's got a nice break here. It goes down here. This goes down right here. Nice. Now I love it. Okay, that's exactly what I was trying to get. All right, so I guess that's it. Pretty much satisfied with what I see there, but that color that I brought in there, I'm gonna bring it in here. I can use it for like where there's twigs or grasses. The same thing for here. Like I said, if you, most of the time, if I bring a color, I try to add it into other areas too. All right, that's good. All right, well, that's about it. Other than that, I need to let it dry, and then I can give it another look and make sure that everything is fine. And at that point, after that, I just varnish it. But if you notice, the highlights work pretty good right there. Basically all that there. The highlights in the front fixed everything, turned out pretty good. And let's see. So here, you know, it's looked pretty good. I mean, basically, the painting is a nice little study, because technically that's what this was. Whoever didn't see the live videos, this is just a study. Basically, that's what I was trying to do a study to see if this would benefit from a larger format. And I don't know yet. That question I cannot ask. I still am studying the painting to see the answer is yes or the answer is no. But so far, this particular study is beautiful. And it's going to be up for sale, guys. Usually this is an 8x6. I usually sell them for 100. But if you guys, wherever I post this, if you guys want it, I'll let you have it for $90, and I'll give you free shipping. So like I said, I usually sell it for 100, but I'm going to, anyone that sees this video wherever I post it, if you guys want it for $90, it's yours. And just DM me or respond in the actual comment and say sold, and it's yours. I'll contact you and we'll go from there. But no NFTs. Don't waste your time with that. I hate you coming into my page and leaving comments like that. NFTs is a ripoff. You guys are trying to rip people off. So get off my page with NFTs. I don't believe in that crap. So if you want to buy the painting, it's cash only. And well, of course, I use PayPal. So basically that would be it. I do not accept fake money. I don't believe in that. I believe in crypto. I have my crypto account, but I don't believe in NFTs. That is ridiculous. That is a ripoff. I know so many people that got ripped off by this fool, so I am not going to be doing that. So if you're one of those, don't bother coming into my page for that garbage. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I am eternally grateful to anybody that sees my videos. If you spend time watching my videos, I thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I do that for other people. I watch other people's videos, and I think it's fantastic. So if you guys spend time watching this video, I thank you.